Loses to me, I don't think he can show his face in another tournament again.
Do you think he will lose to you?
Yeah, of course, because I already broke him once. He can't handle the intensity.
That just a flavour of some of the trash talk that's gone on down the years now between Nan's Niemann, the man with the power to rattle the world #1's cage, and the man himself. It's the Cagness monster. He's playing with the black pieces in this game, and it's 63 days we've waited for a clash between these two. It happened this week in August 2025. Hans Niemann had white here in Cheating Tuesday, as some call it. This is mouth-watering, ends in a checkmate. They're online as Hans pushes the king pawn and Magnus builds the banana hammock. It's known as the modern defense, and now we see Niemann thrust in the center with the ED. Now Magnus gets his bishop out and the centre is solidified. Pawn d6. These knights gallop into the game. h3 keeps an eye on some pesky bishop moves. The second pony hops forward and the pawn is attacked and defended. You just don't get commentary like this elsewhere. Do consider subscribing. Really helps my self-esteem. Now Magnus fights for the centre and you could definitely glide on past like a ship in the night, but Niemann holds off. No king safety fist bump between the players. Yes, they sometimes play together in their pants, said no one ever, but they don't like bumping fists. To celebrate the safe king, the rooks hit the game. Now we see Niemann kick on. Surely you play knight e7, play for h6, f5 later on. No. Magnus, in a pure show of disrespect, sticks it back on the back rank. The crowd are going nuts for this one. This is not how you're meant to play the opening. Surely, white significantly better. Even checked it out with Lotus Chess, the #1 app. Everyone's heard me talking about it now. The link is in the description. The crushing lines are out of this world. No way is it telling you to do this, but this is Magnus. He does what he wants, right? We're going to see how he plays out, but get downloading while you watch this video. Completely free to get started. Absolutely amazing app. Probably the #1 growing fastest right now. Absolutely love it. Niemann now sets up the overpowered camel toe, an advanced camel toe pawn formation. Magnus gains space. Standard fare for the course. Now the knight hits the edge and he's not done there. Watch this. After this and the bishop developing, Niemann whispers, stack my bishop. Magnus now takes some space and a key square, and after rook b1 he thinks, okay, how stinky can I make my knights? He puts the second one on the edge of the board, forgetting his own maxim.
Der Springer on dem Rimmer ist ein absolut Wiener Schnitzel.
Not a great position, and before you can say my 60 memorable draws, a modern bestseller by Anish Giri, a man who's been at it again recently in Chennai, just stopped himself getting the clean sweep by taking a little win against Jordan Van Forest in the final round. Niemann gains some space. Magnus, not to be outdone, thrusts forward over here, and I find this so instructive. I've got to show you. Taking is the best move, and it's due to this maneuver. Now it looks like you've just given black the entire centre, right? What's this all about? Well, watch this. If you say protect the pawn, try and hold the centre, then the knight rotates around, you hit this twice, but you're also threatening this annoying knight h5 move. If you try and defend with the queen, well, now you left the defence of this square, so this knight joins the party on the light squares. Say you bring the rook up, give a bit of space, then the knight hops. You know, this is the point here. If you go this way, pawn drops. If you go this way, well, now there's rook b3 ideas. I stopped here really. c5 is another powerful pawn sacrifice. But this guy, whoops, let me go back to where we were. I'll edit this out, but the board just did a weird thing and took you all the way to the end position. So running back to the line I was at here, if you take on f5 after Magnus goes pawn f5, you get a real nice knight on h5 potentially. Fine, missed. Instead, we get this very stinky pawn to c5 according to the all-powerful engine. Actually, real nice randomizer. because after these ones go into the blender, the bishop hits the knight, Magnus defends, and the way I've always understood these positions is you take, pawn recaptures, maybe look to get it back with a knight later, or push immediately here, get the queen in. You're probably going to win the pawn. You do stand a bit better here as white. But Niemann doesn't take. He plays the very provocative knight d2, allowing Magnus to fianchetto the knight. What a boss. But he's headed for the blockading square. Now again, you should take. This time is to gain access for the queen to this square in many lines. Not played. Niemann immediately spawns the seahorse, but now Magnus can go f4. Queen ain't getting there anytime soon, and if you play one of the top engine moves, here or here, well, you're just getting really squashed for space. Black starts expanding. Lovely in a blitz game. So Niemann plays the epic. Bishop takes on b6. Simply sacrificing a piece for 2 pawns. It really is good play, especially in blitz. And he is picking up an exchange here, because the rook's attacked. And say you play a natural rook b8, over protecting the knight or protecting it for the first time, then you can take here, takes, and this is the second problem. This guy comes out of nowhere, you win an exchange, and okay, game goes on, you can blockade or go to c5, whatever, just a different game, roughly level. Apparently white a little better. Let's carry on, because the rook didn't save itself. Instead we see the move of knight d6 and knight c5 better. We're gonna see why. Takes was played, queen recaptures, and now you've got this resource available, not available if the knight's on c5. Now you can take, of course, but after the knight recaptures, look at the tender e6 square. The knight coming here to a theatre near you soon. So we see this bishop back up. Knight c5 on the way. Queen a7, lovely diagonal to hit. Also keeps an eye on the 7th heaven. And after knight e6, hitting the promised land, it looks terminal, but Magnus has got this one prepared. Knight g5. Suddenly, this dead horsey springs from nowhere to challenge this octopus, and what to do? Captures was played, pawn takes back, and Niemann leaves himself, or Carlsen, sorry, with a lovely pair of double Gs. If you immediately attack them, well, you can defend like this, different game. Bishop stands nicely, also blockading. So let's run back. No queen g4. We saw rook c1, looking for some of these invasion ideas, and now a move that really baffled me at first. King g7. Surely the king was safer back here, but I think I worked out the idea, soon to be revealed. Now we see the rook c6 invasion, and I love this. Queen d4 from Magnus, and would you look at Barry? There are 2 big reasons he loves Magnus games. One is that Magnus loves to exchange the queens and grind in an endgame, and the other is his wacky openings. I'll link a video at the end in case you missed the greatest opening of all time. The queen could be taken off the board, but then there's a lot of pressure here. f3, then look at the amazing king that black gets. Should be roughly level, let's say, but these guys are going to be trickier in a blitz scramble than the 2 rooks, I reckon. Anyway, we back it up. Queen takes not played. Queen c2, rook b8. Such tension here. Love when these guys play, and it's actually just too much for Hans Niemann. Now, if you go check here, well, the point is revealed of king g7. You can nestle up into these double Gs. Bury yourself deep in there, soft, snuggled, safe, and there's no more attack. So no check was played. Queen c3 is apparently a good move, or queen c5, but not played. Rook e2 was played on the board. A terrible blunder, but to be fair to Hans, a wasp did fly into his room just at this moment. Because he's such an alpha Chad, he just chewed it right up and swallowed it, but still it threw him for a loop. Magnus has got a killer response here. It's queen a1 check simply. The king now goes. If the queen blocks, by the way, well, you're getting hit with this and losing the lady. So the king went to h2, but anyway, rook b1. Best move for white here, give up the queen, because you're getting mated. Niemann desperately tries g4 to give room, but anyway, check, and here we saw resigns, because after king g2, only square of course, now you bring in the queen, king h3 or f3, sorry, only square, and then pick your way to do the checkmate here on that square. Didn't mean to do that arrow. This is the most aesthetic, I feel. That would be a checkmate. Magnus takes it home, storms the tournament, and I won't tell you what happened in the other title Tuesday. I'll be bringing that one soon. Sorry couldn't get to Sinkfield Cup stuff, only so much time. Kids' summer holidays here, so we're getting smashed by kids left, right and centre as well. Doing my best to get some chess up. Hope you enjoyed. Do consider subscribing. Check out Lotus Chess. It really is fantastic. And have a look at the video on screen if you want to see the greatest Magnus Carlsen opening of all time. Thanks a lot for watching and see you soon. Cheers.